Welcome, everyone, to this training on healthy, convenient meals that save time and money with my friend Holly Cooley, who I'll introduce in just a moment. My name is Jason Matthias. My wife Shannon and I have 7 children, and we've been on a journey of real food and healthy living for well over a decade. My journey actually started when I was very young. I grew up in Southern California. My parents grew a garden from my infancy, and so I kind of grew up on the garden, and I'm doing the same with my kids, teaching them how to grow, appreciate real food and healthy food, and teaching them how to cook and understand where food comes from in nutrition and all those related things. So together we're teaching our children how to grow a better future, starting with our own health and the way that we garden, grow food, prepare food, share food with others. And one of the things we've been doing for the past 4 or 5 years probably is sorry, hang on here. I've had slides are hanging up. There we go. We're working together as a family to grow a better future, and we started an heirloom seed business called Seeds for Generations about 5 years ago, and the kids are all involved in the business, not just in the gardening, but also in saving seeds, and also in packing seeds and fulfilling how to work together as a team and work together as a family. Over the past couple of years, we've expanded our efforts to share what we're doing with others through Get Ready to Thrive, which is all about equipping families for thriving, healthy living. And this topic of how to make healthy meals more can save time and money. Don't eat healthy because either they seek convenience and think that convenience is only found in unhealthy options, or think time and money required. You can, there's some alternatives that you may not be aware of to help you and your family um, prepare and saving time and money while you're doing that. So my friend Holly Cooley is a wife and mother, and she has 2 grown sons who are now married and expecting grandchildren soon. She's also an artist. She does all kinds of different art, everything from painting to jewelry and other things. Her and her husband Mike are also homesteaders. They raise chickens and pigs and bees. And the way that we met them actually was as an event speaker. So I was speaking at some different events in Virginia primarily, but throughout the East Coast, and talking about things and healthy eating and making uh, food that is stored up and ready to go and easy to prepare for your family. And her husband Mike is actually a permaculture design consultant, and so he was teaching classes on permaculture, and we hit it off right away, and that's how we got to know them. She's a Thrive Life consultant. She'll talk a little bit more about Thrive Life in the training later on, but that is the role through which we ended up meeting Mike and Holly, and they become really good friends. In fact, Mike was just here visiting us at our farm a couple weeks ago, and hoping to see Holly again sometime soon. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce Holly to start the presentation. Holly, how are you?
Hey Jason, thanks. I'm doing well. Busy. You did that list of what I was doing, and I was thinking, gosh, I need to sit down once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, your slides are up, so you've got control of the slides, and you can go ahead and start your presentation.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, thanks, Jason, and thanks everyone for tuning in this evening. Um, I'm really excited, as always, to share something that has changed the way our family does dinner time, and for that matter, breakfast and lunch as well. With Thrive Life, I've found something that is quick and easy, nutritious, and delicious, and it saves time and money as well. It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But it's true. I love sharing this with others because it's made such a big difference in our lives in so many ways. And I've seen it help many, many families in the almost 9 years that I've been a consultant. So my job has been very fulfilling in that sense because of being able to help other people. Um, and there are other reasons that it's been fulfilling, and that's what I'm going to be sharing a little bit more about with you in a little bit. But as Jason said, I have a lot of interests, love being creative. We love our little homestead here, and we homeschooled 2 boys. Looking forward to a grandbaby in December. But I would say probably the main thing about me is that I'm curious, curious about a lot of things. And that's probably what got me started with Thrive and wanting to know more. And so since I'm curious, I'm going to start out by asking you a question tonight. What do you think the number one daily question is that often causes anxiety, maybe even panic in your life? You probably guessed it. How about, Mom, what's for dinner? Have you ever been surprised by 5 p.m. and that question and you have no idea? I mean, I think sometimes this is the most stressful part of our day. And you find yourself thinking, why is it that our family has to eat every single day, right? The thing repeats every day. And, if you answer their question of what's for dinner with any amount of uncertainty, they can detect it, right? And their hunger level seems like it increases, and all of a sudden everybody's panicking. I saw this recently and it made me chuckle, and I wondered if you could relate. I hate when I'm waiting for Mom to make dinner and then I realize I am the mom. So, wouldn't it be nice if we did have someone like in the old days to make us a home cooked, delicious, healthy dinner every night? Well, tonight I'm going to share with you some that you can quickly prepare your family's favorite meals and always have the ingredients you need on hand. And that's usually key for making any kind of meal, is having the ingredients there. I'm also going to talk about how you can eliminate waste and how you can skip having to go to the grocery store so often. Wouldn't that be nice? Basically, you're going to meet your new best friend in the kitchen. But let's take a look at some common dinner time woes. So we got the dinner time rut. Sometimes we just get stuck in a rut. I remember when my kids were small, some evenings I would be like, what have I ever made for dinner? I just can't think of anything else except for, whatever your standby is, meatloaf or chili or whatever it is. We'd like to try something different, but not tonight because it's just going to be too much of a hassle. And who has ever used this solution for dinner time? If you wait long enough to make dinner, everyone will just eat cereal. It's science, right? I'm just kind of joking here, making fun, but it is a real problem. I mean, sometimes with dinner time, there is simply not enough time in our day to physically be able to prepare a healthy meal. So, what are your go tos on a night like this? Is it fast food? Is it ordering pizza? I heard recently of a family that it wasn't a time issue for them. It was that the mom was facing a serious health challenge. And for over a year, they have been sending the family every evening to Sheetz for dinner. I know Sheetz has pretty tasty food, but come on, after a while that would get pretty old. And she was introduced to Thrive, and she and her family are now both all thrilled with that as an option. So the options like Sheetz, like Pizza Hut, like fast food are tough, aren't they? I mean, Mike and I are really trying hard to eat healthier, and we're also trying to watch our spending. And the last time we went out to a fast food through the drive-through, we spent over $16 just for the two of us. And when I talk with others who have families, they're spending $30 or more every time they go through the drive-through, and they're doing it multiple times a week. And that really all adds up. It's just crazy. Sometimes we have 5 p.m. brain fog. Have I ever cooked a meal before? And what have I made? I can't think right now because I'm hungry, right? Do I even have anything in the refrigerator that's edible? Sometimes brain fog happens because we're the hungry ones, and now we're supposed to think and figure out a meal for everyone else. And sometimes we're just too doggone tired. I mean, on a night like this, I might think about going out to dinner and having someone else, cook my meal. But in reality, I just want to stay home in my comfy clothes and my slippers. And it's a hassle to go back out just to have a decent meal. And this option is going to further blow our budget, right? So for both of us, going to a restaurant is probably going to cost us between $40 and $50. Wouldn't it be nice to have a personal chef on some of those nights? I think you're really going to love what I'm about to share with you. Missing or rotten ingredients is another dinner time woe, and I think it's actually probably one of the biggest ones. It just is a big meal prep blocker because the stress of getting dinner on the table is not just the action of getting it on the table, right? It's choosing your menu, making your list, getting to the store, trying to keep your fridge full with what we're going to need for our families without getting so much that it goes bad, but then it still ends up going bad anyway, doesn't it? It's so frustrating. This little cartoon or little banana guy made me laugh, and then this cartoon is so true. It's where all the crisper drawer is where all of our intentions go to die. So have you ever opened up your crisper drawer and found a science project in there? So we all know what it's like to make our plans and shop for groceries and have all kinds of great plans and intentions, and then life happens. And by the time we get back to our beautifully stocked refrigerator, things are not so pretty anymore because our groceries don't wait for us. Wouldn't it be nice if we had a way to keep our fresh fruits and vegetables and meats and dairy for a longer period of time so that we weren't throwing food away and that it wasn't spoiling? What if it could last for longer than a couple of weeks? What if it could last for almost a year? That'd be just wonderful, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be nice to have our groceries wait for us to stop throwing food away, which is really the same as throwing money in the trash, right? When I first started working with Thrive Life almost 9 years ago, the average American family threw out 25% of their monthly grocery budget. So what does that percentage mean to you in dollars if that was true for you? For the average family, that percentage actually represents about $150 to $200. And you don't even want to know what they redid this study recently, and you don't even want to know what the new statistic is. It's actually 40% or more. My goodness, that's almost half of our food budget going into the trash. And that means that if the average family spends $600 at the grocery store in a month, they are throwing away $240. That's so crazy. So we all could really use a solution to this growing problem, couldn't we? We could all use better solutions than for the 5 o'clock panic. And we've talked about, different solutions hiding in the closet. That's not really one of them. Some people call it freezer surprise, just pulling something out of the freezer, cereal for dinner, fast food, leftovers. But take a look at that last one, meal kits. Have you heard anything or seen anything on social media about meal kit, the new meal kit craze? Maybe it's Blue Apron or HelloFresh. Have you tried that option? I think it's pretty popular because people are seeing that we need solutions. What if your groceries lasted until you were ready to use them? And I've asked that before, and the good news is that they can. So if you look at this photo with me, it shows you a few fruits. There's a banana, strawberry, and a pineapple there. And they've had something done to them. They've been freeze dried. Yep, freeze drying is a process that's been around for a really long time. And most times when I talk to people, they say, oh, that's that astronaut food, isn't it? But, have you started seeing freeze dried foods cropping up in your grocery store or in the snack section of your favorite convenience store? I think it's because the freeze drying process is the perfect solution for making our favorite foods last for a really long time. So instead of having this on the left, you can have this on the right. Have you ever tried freeze-dried foods before? If you have, you know that they make a really good crispy snack. And one of the things I love about Thrive Life is their commitment to quality, which means that our freeze-dried foods are just going to taste better than any of the other options out there. I know because I've tasted them all. Because remember, I said I'm curious. And the reason our food tastes better is that they actually wait until the fruits and vegetables are vine ripened before they're harvested. Let me tell you a little bit about the freeze drying process, and you can see how that freshness is going to be locked into our fruits and vegetables. So, how do they do it? Well, you can see here a tail, basically tail of two bananas, and you can see on the bottom there, the fresh bananas, quote unquote, that come to your grocery store. They're picked early, so they're picked when they're not ripe, and then they're transported, packaged, transported again. They go into cold storage, and then one day your grocery store says, hey, we need more bananas. And so they pull them out of cold storage and they're artificially ripened. And then along about day 17 to 20, they're put on your grocery shelves and you buy them, you take them home, and by then it's been almost 21 to 25 days since that banana was picked. So logically thinking about that, how much flavor has been lost and how many nutrients have been lost in that banana, and who has bought perfectly good looking bananas one day and the next morning you wake up and they look all brown and spotty like in this picture? Isn't that crazy? I think they're just tired. They're just tired bananas at that point. But Thrive bananas, you can see here, they're naturally ripened. They're picked at the peak of freshness. And that also means not only do they have the best flavor, but they have maximum nutrition. And then within 2 to 10 hours, they're peeled, chopped, and then flash frozen. With bananas, it's 2 to 4 hours, but other things, it takes maybe a little bit longer. And that flash freezing process is really quick. We got to walk through the freeze drying section of our Thrive Life plant, and we got to go step into one of the freezers there, which was set at minus 40 degrees. It was crazy cold. So it's almost instantaneous, and that just locks in all the nutrition. Then that frozen food is put into the freeze drying machine. They create a vacuum, and that process called sublimation locks in all the nutrients. And that gives you the same fresh taste either now or later. So that's how we get to say that our fruits and vegetables are fresher than fresh produce. Some other things that I love about Thrive Life and their foods are just the care that they take to make sure that is the most delicious and most nutritious option that you have out there. One year we had the dreaded lack of pineapple in Thrive Life. We went without pineapple for a really long time because the company got a shipment, and when they got it, it did not meet their specifications, and so they sent it back, and that meant that we didn't have any pineapple in stock. It was a very sad year, but I appreciated the company's commitment to quality. And speaking of commitment, if you look on this page here over to the right, you can see a little Nutralock seal. And that seal tells you, as a customer, tells me that this food, whatever it is, in this case it's strawberries, is the best product out there that you can come across. It's actually a 40-step proprietary process that we go through, that the company goes through to make sure that that happens. And some of those processes actually start with the farms that they source from and that they partner with, making sure they have good soil practices, um, and just a lot of other things to make sure that you have the best products out there. Our products are all non-GMO. They're very snackable. Those bananas that I showed you are delicious. The strawberries are delicious. I have customers who buy our asparagus specifically for snacking on. Just delicious. And I have some other customers whose little kids say, "Mommy, can I have some more green candy?" And they're talking about the peas or the green beans. So very snackable, which actually adds to the amount of nutrients that you're getting in your diet every day. We have some organic options. We don't source anything from China. Most things come from the US, and what doesn't come from the US comes from a country that does it as well or better than we do. They're delicious, they're nutritious, they're vine ripened, like we mentioned, and we have gluten-free certification. So over 100 of our products have the stamp of being gluten-free certified. So if you know people that have that as a food allergy or a food struggle, this is a great product for them, a great company to work with. Um, so again, Nutralock is our company's way of assuring you that you have the absolute best products in your hand. And take a look at that ingredient deck on the strawberries. Don't you like seeing that? Just plain strawberries, nothing added, just pure strawberry goodness. I was at a show one time and someone walked up and they were looking at a can of corn and she was reading it, studying it, looking at it. All of a sudden she looked up in an accusatory tone and she said, "Why do you only have corn listed in the ingredients?" And I had to tell her it's because there was only corn in there. And she was really, really, she couldn't get through her head that there could just be one ingredient in that can. But thanks to Thrive Life, because of this, having these freeze-dried fruits, vegetables, dairies, meats, and a lot of other things in these cans have, most of them, about a 25-year shelf life. Do you see how you could basically now have all the things on hand that you might need to create your favorite recipe, or to have a healthy snack on hand, or maybe even your own unique fast foods for your family? I mean, what are the chances that you could have access to 18 different fruits and vegetables at any moment in your home? Or maybe meats that have already had the bones and the skin removed and are chopped and then even cooked for you. So all you have to do is add water. Does that sound too good to be true? It does, doesn't it? But it's not. It's really, really wonderful. In our busy lives, wouldn't it make dinner time so much easier if we had someone else to take care of those messy and time-consuming details of meal prep? Some of my favorite Thrive Life foods are onions. And we say here with Thrive, I make onions cry because I don't have to chop them anymore. Another favorite of ours is the Thrive Life sausage. I mean, what a mess that is. In fact, we love it so much that I actually priced it for myself. And I compared the Thrive Life sausage to store-bought raw sausage. So one day I went to the store, I got myself a pound of sausage. I cooked up that raw sausage, and you know the drill. Of course, I got spattered a few times, and so did my entire cooking area. All that grease, it's just yucky. And I paid for that grease too, by the way. That's the first time that I realized that when I buy a pound of meat, I am not ending up with a pound of edible meat by the time I cook it. I've paid for bones and skin and grease and water. So with Thrive, my sausage is already cooked for me and it's ready to go. I just scoop and I can sprinkle it on eggs or in soups, or I can even eat it straight from the can. Really, it's my husband that enjoys eating it straight from the can most. But when I did that cost comparison, what I found was that I was paying under $1 more per pound for my Thrive Life sausage. So that little bit, I'm sorry, I was paying over $1. Oh, just under $1 more, sorry. And that little bit, for the convenience of being able to scoop out just what I needed and to be able to set the rest of the can on my shelf for the next time I'd need it, was just really worth it to me, because I don't have a greasy pan or a stove to clean up. And I have about a year to use the can once I've opened it, so there's no waste whatsoever. There's no spoiling. Um, we have other favorites like the instant black beans. I love those. They're actually a little cheaper than the store-bought canned black beans, and so I've saved money, and I also don't have the added sodium and whatever else is lining that can to worry about, because all of our cans with Thrive Life are BPA free. Um, and my can of Thrive instant black beans has a much longer shelf life. So if my family really loves something, I can make sure to have a can or two or three on hand, and I know that they're good for years. Like I said before, most things 25 years, and then once I open it, I know I have about a year to use it. So does that sound really convenient to you? It really is. So in a sense, you can have your own personal prep chef. Not too long ago, we added butternut squash to the list of foods that we carry at Thrive Life, and it's been a great addition to my pantry. I mean, have you ever peeled and chopped a butternut squash? It's like you stand in your kitchen and think, I might like to live dangerously today. Maybe even end up needing stitches. But instead, you have your own personal prep chef, and this can represent 30 minutes or more of peeling and chopping for you. How about this? Who likes chopping and messing with raw meat? When I do, as consultants for Thrive Life, we offer to come and do cooking demos for people. And when I do those, I would say probably the most common complaint for people is messing with raw meat. So with Thrive, again, your own personal prep chef. This is your chicken all chopped and cooked and ready to go. And can you get an idea of how easy it would be to scoop out some of this chicken, add some onion slices, add some Thrive red peppers, and in about 15 minutes have fajitas for your family? It's incredible. And we have a recipe site with that fajita recipe on there, and it's crazy good. So I mentioned sharing Thrive Life foods at a tasting or a cooking demo. And if we were all together in the same room tonight, you would have already tasted how incredibly delicious some pineapple or strawberries or corn or peas or broccoli or asparagus are straight from the can. And then I would cook you a delicious entree, maybe the chicken fajitas. They're something I like to fix for people. Maybe even a dessert. But obviously, I can't do that in this webinar, so I'll do my best to share the information. But if you are interested in what our foods taste like. And if you're interested in what we're sharing this evening and you would like to have an actual taste of the food, hosting a cooking demo with a Thrive Life consultant is one of the smartest and also, I think, most fun ways to experience this food firsthand. And they're so easy. I mean, as a consultant, we come and cook for you and your friends. You invite a few friends over, and what friend is not going to want to learn how um, to relieve stress at dinner time, or how to improve their family's nutrition and eating, or how to save money while they're doing it? If you're interested in this option, in learning more about this, be sure to get in touch with the consultant that invited you to view this webinar and ask them about it. Ask them if you can get on their calendar. If you're an average host, guess what? You're not going to only get to taste, not only going to get to taste our foods, you're also going to be rewarded with probably about $100 or more in free groceries. And your friends will think you're also the best person and the best friend for sharing this food with them. So very, very rewarding. So yeah, get in touch with the consultant that sent you here and ask them about it. They would love to share this food with you. Now, at a tasting or a cooking demo, we go over specific ways that Thrive Life can help you in your kitchen. And here are some ideas if you haven't already thought of them. What if your family could snack on crunchy fruits and vegetables? You might want to make some notes as things come to mind that here when I'm going through this list. I would, if we were here, I would have you fill this out, but grab a piece of paper and a pen and just jot some things down, because Thrive Life can become your new grocery store, another option for you. And by the time we get done this webinar, or by the time I get done tastings, people are usually staring at me like I blindfolded them and then dropped them in the middle of Wegmans for the first time. So they get overwhelmed. So jot things down as you're thinking of them, because everybody's going to have a different list. So um, foods your family could snack on. Would they like to snack on the bananas? Do you have toddlers in your home? Bananas are popular. The fruit and veggie crisps in the snacky line are popular. They make great baby food. I mentioned vegetables already, but write down some things you think your family might like to snack on. I mentioned the snackies. Here are some of our foods in a little snackable pouch. It's convenient and it's a great option for a desk drawer at work or somebody's lunchbox. And as my husband says, you have to try the coconut bites. They're crazy good and you'll be addicted. So you can take a look at all of those options. The corn is delicious. The pineapple is one of my favorites. But make a list of things that you think might be great snacks for your family. How about foods that take a long time to prepare? We talked about this too. So write down some things that you could use a little bit of help with. Is it that chopping onions? Would that help you with your favorite meal? Is it potatoes? Would you be able to save some time with your favorite meal by not having to peel potatoes? Just kind of make a list of those things that this can be helpful with. Foods I commonly throw away. We touched on this earlier. So write down the list of the things that you regularly end up throwing in the trash. For me, it was raspberries. You know, you get that beautiful little container of raspberries. You eat a few of them, but then you want to save them for tomorrow. And darn it, if tomorrow morning they have mold in them and you have to throw some of them away. So we use the Thrive raspberries almost exclusively. Mushrooms, the same thing. Celery, kale, spinach, asparagus, these are all things that are on my list. Also sour cream. So what things might be on your list? Take a moment to write those down. How about foods that I commonly run out of? What happens when we've run out of something? Well, it requires an extra trip to the store, and that's a waste of our time and our gas money And it also causes us to blow our food budget because the grocery store is so good at that impulse purchase temptation, right? Have you ever gone into the store for one thing and then come out with 6 bags of groceries? Me too. My husband always says, "I thought you went in for one thing." But, not anymore since my Thrive Life groceries come straight to my doorstep each month. I can keep the things on hand that I use most often and skip those annoying extra trips to the store. I'll tell you more about this in a minute, but this one feature alone has helped me skip so many trips to the store. And I've reduced my budget spending too, because when I go to the grocery store to make a special trip to get cheese or whatever the item is, I guarantee that I'm going to come out with not a $5 bag of cheese, but a $60 bag of cheese because I've bought $55 worth of other things. So, do you see ways that your dinner time stresses can be greatly reduced to just due to the convenience of Thrive Life foods? Less mess, less stress, healthy solutions that can help you cut corners so that you have more time for what's important to you. So, you've listened to me tell you all the ways to make your life a little bit easier in the kitchen, make it a little bit healthier for eating and a little bit quicker. But what if I told you that it can be even easier than this if you want it to be? What if I told you that you didn't even have to measure at dinner time or plan ahead? What if dinner was as easy as one, two, three? Well, we've solved the dinner time dilemma, introducing Simple Plate. And basically, this takes a giant step towards solving any problem that you could have at dinner time, because basically, if you can use scissors and count to 6, you can prepare a gourmet quality meal in about 15 minutes. You remember I talked earlier about one of the solutions that people are turning to is the um, meal delivery kits, and those are great. The problem is that they do still have food that is not going to wait for you. And I've heard more than several stories about people who have tried the delivery service and it comes and it's not on a night that it's convenient for them to fix their 3 dinners, and the food ends up going bad. But with Simple Plate, you just put it on a shelf if you can't cook it that night, and it's there waiting for you for a night that you forget that it's 5 o'clock. I had one night I was working in my studio. I was working on some jewelry, and my husband came in and he said, "Are we going to have dinner tonight?" And I looked up and I said, "Oh my goodness, it's 6 o'clock. I had no idea." He said, "That's okay. I'll fix dinner tonight." And it's been really nice and just so sweet of him to just pick out a Simple Plate. And he says, "Even I can fix these. They're so easy." So this Simple Plate can be the answer for all the nights that we've got brain fog or we're too tired or there's not enough time. So all you have to do is just pick out your dinner. Like I said, use your scissors, open those packets, and just go ahead and start fixing your meal. Right now, our company has about 20 different options. I think it will be 21 if you count the new Simple Plate that will be launched starting Wednesday when we start our big Black Friday sale. So anyway, the options are limitless. You can look at all of those. We have vegetarian options and just a lot of delicious options. So and this is what a Simple Plate meal looks like when you open the box. Everything is numbered and color coded to match the easy to follow directions. So 1, 2, 3, and your dinner's coming together before your eyes, and it almost feels like magic. In about 15 to 20 minutes, your family will be hovering in the kitchen or shouting, "What smells so good?" So you can see with Thrive, we have lots of available options that can help you in the kitchen. And I want to make sure to point out one of my favorite ways to recommend getting started with Thrive, and that's the Chef Pack. You can see that in the middle there. This is a great way to introduce yourself and your family to a variety of Thrive Life foods. And it comes complete with recipes and enough, and all the products that you need of Thrive to be able to fix 6 to 7 delicious recipes. And it gives you the chance to see which of those ingredients might soon end up becoming a staple in your household. We have 3 chef packs. We have a Southwest chicken pack, which I believe is the one that's pictured here, and then 2 other ones. And if you decide to try all 3 of those, you're going to end up, having over 21 recipes that you've tried and lots of different ingredients that you've gotten to try and see how you like them. So I really love that option for people. And it's such a great option that our company actually made some bundles that you can take a look at. When you get started, it's sometimes hard to pick out exactly what you want. So we have these 2 bundles. Bundle 1 lets you start with 3 different simple plate meals that you choose, and 1 of the chef packs, and 7 snackies of your choice. And you can see there that you can start your first, as a preferred customer, start your first shipment with that bundle 1, and you're going to actually get $20 off of your first month shipment. So it's a great savings. Option 2 has 3 simple plate meals and the chef pack. And with that one, you're going to save $15 on your first shipment. And then option 3 is just customizing your delivery. So if you've got a pretty healthy list sitting there in front of you, you can just go ahead and put those things into a cart, and you're going to save on your first shipment as well. And then you're also going to get free shipping with all of these options. So this is probably one of the best ways to get started. The thing that I really love about this Thrive Life being your new option for grocery shopping is that you get to shop from the comfort of your own home and maybe even in your PJs. So you can open up a can of cheddar cheese or sour cream because you've run out. You can use that, and you can go right to Thrive Life to your deliveries and put that into your cart so that you have a can coming and you'll have it ready for the next time that you need it. When you go to shop, if you set a certain date for your shipment to ship, it will ship that same day every month. So if it's the 15th, excuse me, you can expect to get your shipment at that time every month unless you want to change it or pause it. If you get on there and you need something right away, there's a Ship Now button. You can have it heading right to your doorstep right away. So this is your new grocery store where all the things that you get don't go bad in your fridge. Doesn't that sound great? Now, keep in mind, when you set up your delivery, you'll have access to this nice Black Friday sale that I mentioned already. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it in a minute. It actually starts on Wednesday, but for consultants, we get an extra perk. We get to start shopping tomorrow. That's kind of fun. But when you set up your delivery, if you decide to set that up, make sure that you set your first shipment to ship Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, and you will get an added benefit of getting those Black Friday sale prices. Just remember that the longer you wait, sometimes the things that are really greatly discounted can end up going out of stock. So earlier is better. So one new thing that we actually have that I think is pretty cool. When you set up your delivery as a first-time preferred customer, you're actually going to be eligible for some free groceries immediately. And that's through our party program or cooking demo or tasting. So let's just say that you set up a delivery for $100 because you want to take advantage of the free shipping option. Well, through our party program, you would actually now be eligible for 20% back in free products just for hosting a cooking demo or setting up a Facebook party or for sharing your referral link, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. But that's $20 worth of free food right there. You can't beat that coupon. I know there's a coupon clipper out here somewhere. You can't beat that coupon. It's pretty fabulous. So right before this webinar started, I was actually helping someone get their first shipment set up, and they were thrilled with their immediate discounts. And her order, again, is not going to process until Wednesday, but we were able to set it up ahead of time. And that makes shopping with Thrive even more convenient too, because you can schedule when you want your shipments to happen. So as if that's not enough, I mentioned a referral code, but you also, as a preferred customer, will now be eligible to share a 20% coupon with your friends. Isn't that pretty cool? It's a referral link that saves them money and allows you also to earn product credits when they shop. It's a really cool program, and we're just getting started with it, and it's been really neat to see it growing. When you become a preferred customer, you get your own unique referral link that allows you to share the discounts any way you like. You can share them on Facebook or Instagram or email, and your friends will appreciate the savings that you are sharing with them. You can ask your consultant for more details about this and how to find the link, but it's pretty easy, and it's such a great way to share and to save. And if you're someone that says, I can't really right now in my current situation, I can't really host a physical Thrive Life party or tasting or cooking demo, maybe you want to talk to your consultant and ask them about setting up a party where you just share via social media. And as those orders come in, she can help you earn even more Thrive credits. So it's so easy to share Thrive Life with other people, I think, because, well, everybody eats. And as consultants, we literally get paid to have lunch with someone or to help them gather a few friends together and check out this amazing food. We not only earn free groceries, but we also earn commission. So we even earn commission on our own orders. That's just crazy. But who else pays you to buy groceries at their store? But that's what Thrive Life does. It's a really great option. And you should definitely check again with the person that referred you to this webinar and find out, because it's absolutely the best way to start thriving in your kitchen. Like I said, I love my job, and in the almost 9 years that I've been sharing this, I've been able to work from home and make enough money to make an extra mortgage payment or maybe a car payment, and also earn some free groceries each month. And Mike and I have also been able to go on some pretty cool trips that we've had. The company has offered some cool incentive trips. The latest was to Aruba this last year. But one great thing about being a Thrive Life consultant is that there are no monthly quotas. I know a lot of other direct sales companies require you to meet certain quotas. We don't have that. You can literally run your business as you like. And maybe you just want more Simple Plate for free each month, or maybe you want some more money in your shoe fund, or maybe you want to save for a swimming pool like one of my teammates, or maybe you'd like to quit your 9-to-5 job and have more flexibility in your schedule or more time with your family. Whatever it is, you can earn free groceries as well as a paycheck each month. And when I say free groceries, I mean it. The more that you're willing to invest in working your business, the more you will receive. Working your business can simply be taking a photo of your next dinner that you made with Thrive Life Foods and sharing it with your friends on Facebook. Do you see other people sharing their dinners? Everybody shares what they're eating. Well, you can do that too. And then when they want to know how to get that amazing food, you can be the person that can help them. And in this day and age of sharing so much with each other about our lives on social media, it just makes sense to me that literally every person should consider this as an option. Mike and I have been so blessed by the opportunity of being consultants with Thrive Life. We've made so many new friends. Jason and Shannon are among them. And we've been able to grow personally because of this business. And we've been able to share something that we've seen literally change lives for the better. We have a family on our team that has 9 children. there, Jason, they beat you by 2 kids. And she has been able to do a business that is bringing in groceries while she's able to be at home homeschooling her family. And, it's been probably 7 years ago since she signed up, but when she had her first party as a consultant and she learned how much she was receiving in free product and commission, she almost cried. And then I almost cried too. Thrive is so very generous with their host benefits, and it really blesses other people. And speaking of generous, another thing that we can all feel good about is that 5% of our purchases of any can of food or simple plate or chef pack that is purchased goes directly towards helping a little village in Kenya called Muungano. Last year, a team of consultants and the founders of Thrive Life went to Kenya to help them start a school. And since then, the villagers have completed that building, and the next project is to create a water catchment system for them so that they can have clean water sourced right there at their school. So in wrapping this up, I want to just let you know a few more things about our Black Friday sale that's coming up. This has always been one of the best times of year to purchase Thrive Life foods. So if you're hearing this webinar and you're motivated to get started, you're getting started at a great time. But this year, the sale is even more amazing because the company has chosen to focus their efforts on what they're doing really well with their state-of-the-art freeze-dried facility. And so they're actually liquidating some of the things that are not freeze-dried. And so we're having a liquidation sale at the same time that we're having a Black Friday sale. The things that are not unique to our company, like, flour, sugar, things that are not freeze-dried, these are all things that are going to be going away. And so they're greatly reduced during this sale. Things like pancake mix, trying to think of some other things, some of the larger size cans of things that don't sell as well. So these are all things that we can source from somewhere else. But that's good news for us. It's good news for you if you see something on that list that you would like to squirrel away while it's on sale. Every item we carry will be on sale starting Wednesday, and we have some fun goodies too, like this opportunity to earn a cute little cooking kit, or to earn a coupon for some free products like the new to-go meals. Those I didn't mention, they're new as of this July, just little pouches, under $3 for those pouches, and you can keep them in a desk drawer, literally open them up, remove the oxygen absorber, put some hot water in there, wait about 10 minutes, and you have a hot, delicious lunch that you cooked right there at your desk. Don't have to run out for food, and it gives you time for something else, maybe put your feet up or read a book or something. So there's also those to-go meals are free just for spending $200 or more during the sale. And of course, whatever you do, that last one, do not forget to pick up at least one confetti cake snacky. They're so delicious, and they have not been available except for at convention and now at this sale. So get them while you can. They're really good. There are deals on Simple Plate meals and deals on so many other products. You can see on the right, there are some express meals. These are meals that have been favorites for many years, especially for folks that are outdoor enthusiasts. And since they're being discontinued, now would be a great time to stock up on those. Maybe use them for stocking stuffers or gifts for people that that like to backpack or camp or anything like that. Even the shelving, this is our signature item created by the 2 founders of our company. These pantry organizers can make your pantry the most organized it's ever been and help you eliminate waste because you'll always be using the oldest can first. So that is the end of my slides, Jason, and I'll turn it back to you. And thanks everyone for listening.
Thanks so much, Holly, for a great presentation. And we'll do questions here in just a minute. So if you have any, folks, you can click on the Facebook Messenger icon in the bottom right and message us via our Facebook page if you're on Facebook. If you're not, you can use the green Q&A button on the bottom left to send us a chat. And I'm going to pull up my slides here. So hang on a sec, Holly. Don't stop sharing your screen yet because I don't have mine up. Until we get a question to start. This question always comes up. So could you talk about organic options and Thrive Life's approach to healthy food? And you talked a little bit about Nutrilock, but the question of, well, what's organic and all that. If you could just talk about that question, and then also just how Thrive Life approaches, and also maybe some of the recent stuff about the focus on healthy food, I'd appreciate it.
Sure, I'm glad to. Yeah, like I said, we just love this food. And early on, when I first got started with Thrive Life, I'm actually a breast cancer survivor, so we take the food that we eat pretty seriously. We like to research. That's why we have our own chickens and our own greenhouse and things like that. But so I did a lot of asking questions and was really happy with the answers I got. The fact that our food is not genetically modified is huge. It's so hard. If you go into the grocery store, or I go into the produce section, I have no idea where that produce came from, what it's been through, how long it's been picked, and if it's been genetically engineered or genetically modified. So I really like the confidence that that fact alone gives me. Um, and the farms that our company partners with, like I mentioned before, have really good soil practices. That means that they're not, I don't know if people know monocropping, just, you know, completely depleting their soil of any nutrients. And it also means that they're not probably using glyphosate on their fields, because if you're you have to use genetically modified seed to be able to grow with glyphosate. Um, but I even asked at one point, are our products pesticide free? Are they organic? And the answers that I got were that these were as organic as you can get. They test everything at our facility, and things are tested for heavy metals, things are tested for, you know, bacterias, whatever, and they're also tested for pesticides. And those tests come back 0 ppms most of the time, or, maybe, what did he tell me? He's 0.001 ppm. So that's parts per million. So even the things that are not certified organic are just incredibly clean and incredibly nutrient dense. And that's not an option that's always available to us unless you grow your own food. We do have some things that have been certified organic, and you'll see the price point is a lot higher for those because of that process. It's a lot of paperwork, and honestly, most of that is this machine not too close to another machine, and how do you sanitize and things like that. They really want to make sure that the facility, it's not the products, it's the facility, would be keeping them to be certified organic. So I feel really good about the quality of the foods. I don't know if that answers your question. Did you want looking for something more specific?
No, that was good on the organic
Mhm.
question. Could you talk a little bit about the recent news that corporate came out with
Okay,
about the emphasis on
sure.
healthy food, and actually how that plays into like some of the way that some of the sale items are
Okay.
on this year?
Yeah. So, we've known all along that the foods are nutrient dense. Um, And that's not something, like I said, that we're getting on a regular basis if we're shopping at the grocery stores. And we've known that as soon as you pick something, it starts to lose nutrients. The company has really decided to put a focus on sharing that information with people and focusing on having that message go out. So that's one of the reasons that they're liquidating or clearing out things that we can get other places. They're also clearing out a lot of our dehydrated items, which has caused much sadness. We have some favorite dehydrated items here, and a lot of people, I think, are sad to see them go away. But um, I'm happy that they're going to be focusing on this, and they're also going to be focusing, they're developing right now some new products that will even further be able to deliver the nutrition of our food to people in an even faster manner. There have been some wonderful testimonials from Thrive Life consultants about how their lives were just changed by eating our food. There's a consultant who was on a list for kidney transplant, because I don't understand all the medical jargon for that, but basically whatever his numbers were as bad as they could be, and they never improved. That's what he was told. And he was blessed to have a friend who was also a Thrive Life consultant who kept pestering him and saying, I think you should just start eating more of our Thrive food. It's got so much nutrition in it. You should start eating more of it. And he did. And the next time he went to the doctors, his numbers had actually dropped, and the doctor was shocked. And that same person who was, on the list to get a kidney transplant is now totally healthy. And it's just because he's now eating more nutrition. I saw a poster another consultant made up recently, and it was a picture of our Thrive Life cans, kind of a bird's eye view. And so they looked like pills. And they said, this is my medicine. Thrive Life food is my medicine. But basically, just eating more fruits and vegetables and nutrient dense food has helped a lot of people. So I'm happy that they're focusing on being able to deliver that message and have just streamlined, clean food.
Great. Thanks for sharing that. Let's see here. Questions. Art asked, confirm the Black Friday sale starts on Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, which is time zone that Thrive Life Corporate is at. They're in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
So 9 a.m. on Wednesday is the first time you can place orders. As a customer, as Holly mentioned, consultants can order a day early. So if you've been thinking about signing up as a consultant and you want to get your order in early before anything gets goes out of stock, which things do go out of stock sometimes during these sales, now would be a good time. If you're watching this recording and the sale's already on, the sooner the better, because even though you have until Monday, the 26th, is it, Holly? It's the 26th Monday.
I got to look at my calendar. You caught me.
My computer's actually kind of slow right now, so I can't switch over to see it. But anyways, the Monday after, it would be Cyber Monday, the Monday after Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Mm-hmm. That's the last day, and the last day that those prices are good. However, some things will sell out, so you never know. You may, in fact, I've heard of people like they put stuff in their cart, and then by the time they go to check out, they try to check out and it tells them that something's out of stock. So that's disappointing to say the least. Also, one thing to note, the discontinued items, which is actually a lot of the stuff that Thrive Life does not produce in their freeze drying facility. So a lot of the dehydrated stuff, as well as a lot of other like baking items and some other things. If they're not going out of the inventory completely. Certain sizes will be going away. Mostly it's going to be number 10 family cans, and a lot of things are going away. So if you are interested in getting a larger size and therefore better unit price, then this might be your last time to get large cans in certain sizes. Or if you want to build up food storage, obviously doing larger cans is better for food storage. So, and so some of the things that are being discontinued besides individual items and some of the larger sizes are, as Holly mentioned, the express meals are going away, which is, I think that might have been the most wailing and gnashing of teeth amongst a lot of consultants, because they're actually pretty popular with certain customer demographics. And the other one, storage packages. So ThriveLife has had these like different packages of product storage, so that basically you can get discounts on buying an assortment of stuff all at once, and those are actually all going away. And I think this really has to do with and getting away from the mentality that I'm going to build up this food storage supply, and I may or may not eat it, but I mean, if you're going to be eating healthy, right, you want to be eating healthy all the time. And so I think part of this is making the way that people purchase products from ThriveLife be more consistent and more in line with how they're eating on a regular basis. So getting a monthly shipment of stuff that you won't necessarily use all of it that month, but you'll use some of it, and you'll be building up your food storage over time naturally as a result of the food obviously lasting a really long time. So I think that is wise in the big picture, though. If you do want to save some money on building up food storage, again, we've done another webinar on food storage, and this is not it, but I just mention it because that's one of the big things in this sale, this Black Friday sale, is kind of the last chance is buying food storage packages at a big discount. And actually all the food storage packages that are available are 20% off, and they're already discounted by themselves. So there's a significant discount involved in those storage packages. And the last thing I'll mention is that if there's something that you want to purchase that you're concerned may go out of stock, consultants can place orders, one-time orders for customers. And for the discontinued items, we can actually do it now before even the advanced sale day. They actually let consultants start purchasing discontinued items a week early, which is really nice. So if there's anything in particular that you really want to get and you're concerned it might go out of stock, then let me know, or Holly know if she's who sent you this webinar, or whoever else may have sent you the webinar. Follow up with your ThriveLife consultants and ask them to help you out. Last thing I'll mention, it's not necessarily about sale prices, but just about purchasing. There's two ways you can order. You can do a normal one-time order, which is basically like any other e-commerce website. You go on, you put your stuff in your cart, you check out, and then you pay shipping, whatever. That's the kind of the old way of ordering that people are used to. The other one is setting up an account as a customer using the delivery service. And the difference with the delivery service, really, the only thing that's different about it is two things. One, you can get free shipping on any orders that are $100 or more. And two is that you can basically set up your orders in advance to process on a certain day of the month. Or if you want it more than monthly, you can do it every 2 weeks or every week if you want. You also don't have to order every month, but if you wanted to say order every other one and set your delivery dates based on that too. So basically it allows you to do some planning ahead. And the other benefit of that is the specials that are available to customers using the delivery service, and you can basically get discounts every month and not just on the big Black Friday sale. And you can basically shop getting discounted items and start purchasing products over time, getting those discounts. So it makes a lot more sense to do the delivery service, even if you're not necessarily buying every month or every couple of weeks or something. because you're using it all the time. But getting the free shipping and putting your money into food versus putting it into shipping, I think, is something that most people understand the value of. So I am, oh, here we go. Oops. I actually shared my screen and then I canceled it for some reason accidentally. All right, there we go. So that was a long-winded answer to a simple question, but I want to review a couple things just so everybody knew. So thanks for asking that, Art. If anybody has any other questions, please put them in one of the chat windows. And if you have any questions that are not particularly related to the webinar, but are other things, or maybe you just want us to follow up with you after the webinar, please fill out the form below the video. And that way you can ask any questions that you have in there, or anything in particular you're interested in that you want us to follow up with you about. And then mark what you're interested in, obviously, of the checkboxes there, so we know kind of what your interests are, and we can follow up appropriately with you. That just helps us to serve you better. All right, let me check here. I've got to switch between windows, see if there's anything else. Holly, do you have anything you wanted to add about the sale or discontinued items or anything like that?
No, I mean, I guess I would agree with you. If there's, people should take it, ask for that link to take a look at that list, because it's a rather lengthy list. And for anyone that maybe is a little preparedness minded, there's probably a lot of things there that would appeal to you, and they're going to be greatly discounted. So it's a great opportunity to just start stocking up a little bit on some things. And then, that part of the sale coinciding with the Black Friday sale, I mean, every item that we sell is going to be discounted. So some more than others, but it's just anything you want to buy, if you buy it during this Black Friday sale, is going to be cheaper than it will be after Monday. So it's a good time to shop.
Yeah, exactly. Here's a question that was actually in an email, but it's actually to mention, which is how long shipping normally takes. Now, it depends on where you are. Obviously, if you're closer to Utah where they ship it from, then you're going to be getting it quicker than if you're on the East Coast like Holly and I. On the East Coast, it typically takes about a week. Isn't that what it takes for you, Holly?
Yes, yeah, it's about a week.
Okay. So that is typical, okay? During these big sales, the sooner you get your order in, period, the more likely you are to experience typical or normal shipping times. The longer you wait in the sale, the longer it's going to take. And just because there gets to be a backlog, they add extra staff and everything to keep up with shipping, but they'll end up having a several day backlog usually by the time the sale's over. So that can be a player as well. And I was actually just talking how or it was actually maybe a few days ago they posted it.
If you asked me a question, it sort of cut out and I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
Sorry. No, so I was just mentioning about the shipping timelines, and they just announced late last week that estimated shipping times have increased for the remainder of the year. Some items may take 2+ weeks to ship, and they decreased back to 5 to 7 days in 2019. So I would say for most people, expect between a week to 2 weeks, but depending on what you want. I think the reason why is that there's probably some items that they are producing quantity for, like at this time, and they know they're going to have it probably in the near future, but they won't necessarily have it to ship right away. And so that's my guess is that's what's going to take longer for some items to ship. But whatever it is, be patient. Obviously, I think for most people, getting a really good deal and having to wait a little bit longer for shipping is probably better than paying a regular price and getting normal shipping times.
I wondered if it would take longer too, because some of those items are heavy. When things aren't freeze dried, they're heavy. And one of the things we're trying to stock up on, we've always purchased our sugar from Thrive Life because it's cane sugar, it's not genetically modified beet sugar or whatever, and we use it to feed our bees in the fall when there's a dearth of nectar. So we can go through a 6-gallon bucket of sugar in a really short period of time. But imagine all of those people in the warehouse having to lug those heavy buckets and package them and get them ready. And then cases of dehydrated food are heavy, cases of flour, wheat, cornmeal, all that stuff. So a lot of grunt work is going into it.
All right. We've got a question from Eleanor. And she asks, is the beef and chicken free range or conventional? Holly, you want to answer that? Holly,
Free,
did you hear my
yeah,
question?
yeah. Sorry, I forgot to turn my
Okay.
forgot to turn my mic back on. I would
Okay.
say I don't know, and so I would guess that it could be conventional. The only thing that I do know is that there are no antibiotics used for beef or for the chicken, um, and that tells me that those are healthy animals. So whatever they're doing, they're healthy animals. It's not like, you know, they're sickly and they need antibiotics. That makes me feel good. And there's never any hormones in the beef. I know they don't do that for poultry anyway, but that's really all I can say about that. Um,
Great.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see here. I think we're about done. Holly, is there any other common questions you get regarding this topic of, and it might, it's kind of more natural when you have a tasting because you're actually like using the food and sampling it and that kind of thing, and questions come to mind because people are looking at it and tasting it and all that. Um, oh, I know. Did you did you mention jar meals at all?
I did not.
I don't think you did.
No. But when you were asking
Um,
me to say something, I was thinking along the similar lines.
were you thinking that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, since the topic of the webinar is healthy, convenient meals that save time and money, an epitome of that, if you were
Mm,
to say one use of the food that epitomizes that title for a lot of people, especially when you're talking about the money savings, right?
mhm,
Um, if you're talking about saving time and money in the same time, same things, right? So,
mm.
uh, meals in a jar really is, I think, what did you say? And can you talk a little about what they are and maybe if you can give some examples of types of meals and maybe what the kind of costs are involved so people get an idea.
Sure. Yeah, one of our favorite things to do with the Thrive Life foods is, we have meals that we can have all the ingredients for. And I learned early on that I could pre combine those ingredients and make my own version of an express meal or, a pre combined thing and just put those ingredients into a jar. And the first time that I did that, I did it with a recipe called taco soup. And I got all of my jars ready. They need to be clean and dry. I measured out all of my ingredients for that recipe, and I put them in a wide mouth quart jar. And that generally will feed, depending on the recipe you're using, feed and 6 to 8 people. Um, but I was thrilled because I actually was able to pre-combine 20 jar meals in under 2 hours. So speaking of saving time, I was jumping up and down because to make 20 dinners, that would normally be 20 hours of my life to make those from, scratch, not with Thrive. And instead, I had boiled all that time down, condensed it into 2 hours for those 20 meals. And then when I priced out that particular recipe, I found out that I was costing me $8 and some change to feed 6 people. And that's when I really realized that Thrive Life foods were economical because that's crazy. You can't go through the dollar menu to feed, your family for that. You can't go through fast food for that much. But I think when you asked what questions I have most common, it is how you use the food. People will say to me, "So is this all you eat at home?" Like, I think they might picture that we don't ever, go to a produce market or anything. And for us, there's usually Thrive in our day somewhere. In fact, when my kids were teenagers, we'd sit down to dinner and they would say, "Mom, where's the Thrive? Because we know it's in here somewhere." Because it's just convenient. It could be the onions, it could be my favorites that I don't like chopping, and they're just incorporated with other ingredients. Or it could be a jar meal, which is all Thrive, and I just dump it into a pot of water and let it simmer for 15 minutes, and we have dinner. So super, super convenient. I have a favorite recipe that I came up with the jar meals called Zuppa Toscano. When we go to the Olive Garden, it's one of my favorite soups. And I decided that I wanted to be able to have that at home. So I kind of recreated the recipe. And that recipe in the quart jar feeds 8 people. And the cost for making that is $10.12 per jar to feed 8 people. So you can see the economy of the food really easily in those instances. Other ways that we use it is, in the morning, I can say to Mike, we have chickens, so I can scramble a couple eggs and say, "Hey, what would you like in your omelet? Would you like some sausage in that?" And I can sprinkle the sausage right from the can. Would you like red peppers? Would you like kale? Whatever he would like on that, I can sprinkle that on there. And then by the time the egg is done cooking, it's refreshed those foods. And we have a garden omelet instead of just a couple of eggs. And we've eaten more vegetables in our breakfast. And it just makes it easy. So those are some examples that I usually share with people to let them see how it can be used in an everyday basis. And everybody's going to have their own favorite go-tos. Just like we all go into Food Lion or Walmart and we have our favorite things that we just go and automatically get. Everybody's going to have those with Thrive too. So
Yeah, that's great. I think the next time if we do this webinar again, we should add in stuff about jar meals and then some of the examples like you're talking about. Maybe some pictures just because
yeah,
helps people visualize it a little more, especially since they're not in your living room
I know. I
looking at
think it
the,
would be so much better because they would be able to taste it.
yeah. Or as an alternative, it's hard to do this live. You have to have the right technology to make this work. But I guess you could do a live video with it like that, but that's a little bit more pressure. But it would be nice to maybe like pre-record a little, a couple of videos of what these things we're talking about, so you can actually show them what you're doing. So I'll have to see if we can figure out a way to do that because I think that'd be really helpful for the distance learning aspect to overcome that and give people a better idea.
Right.
Okay, good. Well, I think that's all the questions we have for now. But if you have any other questions, folks, you can, if you're watching the training later when it's on replay, feel free to put a message in the chat if you have a question. I might be a little bit of a delay before I get back to you on it, but I will answer. But most importantly, if you are interested and want us to follow up with you, please fill out the form below the video and let us know what you're interested in. and you'll get the consultant that referred you to the webinar will get back in touch with you once you do that, so they know you're interested in what you're interested in, and they can follow up to help you out. So I will guess we'll wrap it up there. Thanks, Holly, so much for sharing your experience with Thrive and how you're able to not only save time, obviously, freeze dried makes it a lot easier to do save time, but even how to save money and a lot of headache too about fixing meals for your family. And just want to thank you for your how you've been such a inspiration and help to Shannon and I with Thrive Food and your friendship. And thanks again for all that you've done. And hopefully we'll get to see you again sometime soon.
Yeah, I'm going to get down there and see your new place soon. But thanks for inviting me to do this.
Yeah, I appreciate it. All right. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. If you have any questions, let us know. And we will get back with you. Thanks, and have a great rest of your day.